What's going on, everybody? We're back, the Mike and Rico show, and we have another special treat. We've got the GOAT in the building, Charlie Ward, 17 Heisman Trophy winner, national champion, NBA, Knicks point guard legend, pretty much do it all, everything, rock star human being. My favorite Seminole, the greatest player, in my opinion, that's just one man's opinion, that's ever come through Tallahassee, and an outstanding individual. And he is back to break down the highlights of, well, actually, the condensed game of the North Alabama game. And we're talking quarterbacks today, Coach. We've got a quarterback change in Tallahassee due to an injury over the weekend that happened to Jordan Travis. Everybody's seen it. First of all, how you doing, Coach? How are things going for you this holiday season?
They're moving and shaking like everybody else. Getting ready for this Thanksgiving, and we have a couple games on Friday and Saturday. So we're practicing for those and getting ready for Thanksgiving.
Shout out to hey Charlie, shout out to your other team you played FSU in basketball. Got a big win over
Yeah,
Colorado tonight, number
yeah, I
18 team
saw.
in the country. What was kind of what's your kind of feelings coming out of that? I mean, how big is that for that team?
I watched the overtime, or
Okay.
portion of overtime. I missed the other part, but um, I just think they have to continue to find ways to be consistent
Yeah.
offensively, and then defensively. I think they're solid. They're going to be solid, throughout the year. But they just got to be consistent offensively.
I
That's
agree.
where they get bogged down a lot of times when they're playing against quality opponents. We we can't get the shots or make shots.
Yeah.
And I saw where uh, Green today it was like
Yeah.
3 for 12.
Yeah.
So he wasn't shooting it well. However, they found a way to be able to navigate that offensive end
Yeah.
because he's one of their main scorers.
Yeah. Defense is really good tonight. Got the job done. But I think from a mental standpoint, it's just a big win. But just wanted to mention that one. But go ahead, Rico. Knock it off. Let's do this.
All right, we're going to bring in the film here. Let's bring in North Alabama and kick it right on off. Coach Ward, when you're playing an opponent like a North Alabama FCS school, a lot of times it's preached that it's a faceless opponent. How hard is that from your standpoint to really truly, exercise that and execute against a team that you know you're a lot better than?
Um, it really depends on. I don't know. It really don't depend, but I just thought, these games we used to call stack games. Um,
Mm-hmm.
just to be honest with you, and it was, something that you look forward to playing. And if you, like I tell my players, if you execute at a high level, the score should reflect it
Mm-hmm.
at some point. And, you know, the score at the time, when it was 13-0,
Hmm.
it
Yeah,
reflected, poor execution on both
yeah,
ends, on all
you did.
fronts. And so, but once we got to the point where we were executing at a high level in all phases, then the score reflected that. We scored 58 straight points, which is it should have been that way from the jump. However, they threw some. I think they threw some stuff at them that they probably hadn't seen,
They
and
did.
caught them off guard a little bit. Caught us
Yeah.
off guard, and but once we got a handle, man, it was lights out.
Well, here we go. We'll kick it off right here. North Alabama gets the ball to start. And this quarterback was pretty slippery just from the jump. Running some zone read there. Poor gap discipline. They didn't have any trouble moving the ball in the first quarter. We end up making a punt there, and then we're doing a lot of dancing here.
This is a good play call. Little naked boot um, with the mount route.
Go back to it. Here we go.
Yeah, man, it's just a naked boot. And with a quick out route with a flag over the top of it with two of your best players. I think they ran the same concept later in the game with Tate in the game, but they switched positions.
Yeah, this is tough.
Yeah, the run game was off early on. I was just looking at this, you know, the right tackle is the one that blew up the play, offensive tackle. He missed the block, so that blew up that play for us. The counter.
Well, he ended up punting. We wanted to see touchdown our first three drives and get everybody kind of off the field, and that didn't happen. We end up punting. North Alabama gets the ball back here, and this is right about the time they started doing some funky
fake
stuff.
Punt. That's when they did a fake punt, and then they got a fake punt
right here.
Yeah, they got a fake punt coming up right here, and that kind of changed momentum in the game. Anytime you get a big special teams play, like a fake punt, it just seems to ignite the team that did it and deflate the team that it happened against. Certainly, that was the case, early in this game.
Yeah, big call there. And just they had it set up nicely. We didn't even see it over there. 20. Azarea's still engaged in the block down there. Didn't even know it was coming. Great call. I thought there was a great set of calls by North Alabama. They fumble here. It bounced right back to the quarterback. Wish we would have jumped on it there. We could have kind of quelled some of that momentum, but they ended up jumping back on it. Just a center snap exchange. Fortunate bounce. I mean, Verse was right on it. This is just tough here.
Yeah, he's been getting beat. Green has been getting beat on these fade routes, back shoulder, over the top. He's going to have to shore that up moving forward.
Yeah, he has to do a better job of. Enrico knows this about tracking the ball and finding the ball. You can't just chase the DB and not turn around on a fade pattern.
Not a whole lot of space there. It looks like that was a third down play. Just really stagnant, Charlie, on offense to start the game was pretty disappointing. And then now, I mean, we're down 7-0, and now they're gashing us on some, looks just a simple quick draw.
That was poor run fit by the linebacker, Glenn, I think it is.
Yep, so they go back to the ground game here. Just kind of sitting on the ball on us a little bit. It's a third down play here. We jump.
Yep.
And we get a great pick here, but we jumped.
Yeah, that was the best defensive play he was able to make, all night. And it was called back. They had some nice set of plays.
I got to go back, though. You
just sometimes you have to follow your keys.
Is this not a hold? I mean, if I'm wrong, that looks like a hold. He's got him beat. He's got him stacked. He cannot see the front of his pads. He's got him in a chokehold, and it's literally coming up underneath him. We were looking at this with the Miami game, and it just seems like some egregious holds or miss. I get it. We should be better, but doggone it, that's a hold. And it springs this play.
Yeah, man, you could, but at that time they had the momentum. So it was the little brothers type syndrome. We got a little favor.
Yep.
That's a huge hold, my God.
That's egregious.
I get it. I'm not making excuses. I mean, we're getting our butts kicked and we're not playing the way we need to. But doggone it, a hold's a hold. And that hold is why that play got out the gate. And then now we're just doing – I feel like it's Riverview versus Manatee High. Little throwback screens, and we've got, just 4 linemen on 1 DB.
Yeah, they definitely Yeah, they had them on their toes, in this early in this first quarter. They had a hard time judging what they were doing.
This was a great route concept because they ran a switch release, and what it did was it put the outside receiver on the inside technique, which gave him the leverage to be able to get back outside. So, hey, that was a great route combination, great switch on that route. And like I said, they executed well.
Yep. Kind of what you said, Charlie, at the beginning, where when the score is going to reflect what your execution is. So their execution was really high, and FSU's wasn't.
At this stage, we've already had the Travis injury, and now we have fourth-year backup Tate Rodemaker's in the game. Here's a scramble. This is nice to see here. Coach, how mobile is Tate? I think a lot of people don't really understand how mobile Tate is.
Yeah, he's actually very athletic. That's what people fail to realize is
right.
He is very athletic when it comes to being able to move and do all the different things. He's maybe a different twitch than Jordan, but when it comes down to athleticism and being able to move, he has very good footwork.
Yeah, it should have been a touchdown there.
That's tough.
That was a TD.
This right here
gets past that last guy.
Got to win the block here on the edge. Who is that, Johnny? I don't know who that is, but he's got to be able to get past this right here.
That's Worley, the tight end, 84.
Okay.
Morlock.
Yeah, this is a TD here.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a TD. That's tough. And we end up settling for 3 points here. If I'm not mistaken, on the drive, it's still 13-0.
Yep, that's correct.
That's tough. There you go. Get the first down.
So that's kind of what you would expect. If you give him some time, he can make the throws. Guys got to get open. One thing I admired most about Tate was his ball placement. Coach Norville mentioned that in his press conference, but his ball placement all night, minus a couple of dig routes where he stared the dig route down, and the opposite safety almost got him. His ball placement was on point for the majority of the night, and that's hard to teach.
Coach, how much of a feel is climbing in the pocket? It looked like he did all game kind of a good job of climbing in the pocket. A couple times looked like defender got a hand on the ball, but here he climbs up into the pocket, delivers a nice ball here. How much of that is feel? Can you just talk about climbing in the pocket and just pocket presence and awareness just in general? And do you see pocket presence in Tate?
We all see it. For him to do it, I think that's something that they practice. But what people fail to realize is when he was in high school, this is what he did. He was a great passer, and so that's something that we're very excited about.
Yeah,
but pocket presence. He's a coach's son as well. Yes, that was a mishap on his part. I think he was supposed to give it to the fullback.
Yep, turned the wrong way. Yeah, Tate's
but he did a great job of. Go ahead, Michael.
I was just going to say, Tate's from Valdosta. They play for the Wildcats. Their whole offense was like 4 wide pass all the time. Like they weren't your normal high school offense where you run 2 sets, 2 guys on the outside. Like they let him air it out. Like he threw a lot. I mean, he had a lot of 300 yards games. So this is to him. This is really natural for Tate when you just put him in the pocket.
Well, this has got the offense kind of buzzing there. We end up punting, but offense felt like, come on, get him down. There it is. Good job, Jarian. What a game by Jarian. I mean, that's a darn near a scoop and score strip sack. I mean, Jarian had a couple plays, guys, that were pretty special here for his
Yep.
last game in dope. And here's
Yeah,
Trey.
he was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And that was the thing too. That was the thing, guys. Like once he got Charlie, once he got through those 2 possessions, like where you had some miscommunication. Once you got past those 2 possessions, Tate was really good. Like really on.
Yeah.
You see a different aspect of the way he runs the offense. Just the way he commands the pocket. So I thought they were very comfortable, and you certainly saw them get into a comfort zone once Tate got settled into what he was doing.
Right.
Yep, they review this. Trey Benson gets an answer. Go ahead, Charlie.
Don't get me talking about no reviews. They were stopping the game for no reason.
Yep.
Quite a bit of times. I was watching a couple ACC games, and they were stopping games for obvious calls.
Yep.
That were, just obvious calls. I'm like, man, y'all can just tell them what they saw.
Good job, Fiske. Great job. Great penetration, eye discipline. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was a very good job, Brayton.
There you go. Get him down. I mean, defense started settling down here a little bit, guys. I mean, it's 13-10 at this point, and now we're going to get some offense rolling. Nice ball, great zip. Come on, get the first down. Stop moving backwards. We don't need that.
Yep.
Go know where the sticks are and get to them.
Yeah, no, I mean, you anytime you have a drastic situation like with Jordan, it takes you a little bit to get your emotions back in track. And once they did that, they just had to get Tate comfortable. Then FSU started winning the defensive line of scrimmage in a big way. Offensive line started getting blocks, and then the running back started making plays. And just, I mean, it all continues kind of what Charlie said this outset. Once the execution's there, it's takeover time.
Yep. I wish he would have hugged closer to the hash, I think, because I would have scored there. He ends up getting in right here, so no harm, no foul. Now the Noles take the lead, guys, 17-13.
Yeah.
I don't think at any point we felt like we were going to lose the game, but it was nice to see it come back in control. And Tate managed the offense really, really well. I mean, managed these drives. We ran the ball better when he came in. Line kind of settled down, but he did make throws. He made first down throws. He made timely throws. Always look at throws in the flat because that's kind of a lost art, being able to put the ball in a workspace with a guy in a flat so he can go get some yak. And Tate did a good job of that.
Yep.
I mean, last year, Coach Norvell was very excited about Tate and felt like he could win them games. And so that was last year. And so fast forward to this year, I'm sure he's very excited about him being able to run the offense and still be productive. And so that's what I'm looking forward to.
What did you? I was just going to say, Charlie, what did you see from that second after that second possession by Tate? What did you see from a confidence standpoint with the quarterback that you saw with Tate that was different? Was it more, hey, I'm settled in now? I mean, what did you see kind of from the body language?
Of course, his body language doesn't change, which is a good thing.
Okay.
But it was something that I think we all have to adjust to when it comes to you getting in the game, and especially the quarterback position, and you haven't really had those significant snaps.
Yep.
There are some things that you had to process, and might have taken you a few minutes to process, but you saw him start to feel comfortable with some of the throws that they were giving him. The wheel route to Dale was fantastic.
Yeah.
And then you saw some of the out routes that he was hitting. So it'll just be interesting to see how he starts out against Florida. But I thought he settled down really, really well. Like this pass here.
Oof, this is great stuff.
Climbing in the pocket, hitting the dig route. He's probably gonna have to do a better job of probably finding that guy that's running right in front as well, as opposed to hitting that dig route all the time. But that's something he'll find in his film study. But this past year I thought was fantastic. You know, and that just shows his arm strength along with his accuracy.
Great ball. I'm hoping for a big game for this gentleman here, Bell. I mean, we really need him next week to kind of be that hybrid, game-changing tight end. We really need that next week. Great run here, Toa Philly. His balance is just phenomenal. Some of the plays he makes, and I love this. Look at the 2013 team. Look at this. I love this. That's awesome. Right before the half.
Yeah, that was a big touchdown because it was like 17-13. Okay, you got the lead. That's cool. But now you put your foot on their throat, and then you get another touchdown. And to me, that kind of seal control kind of the game, and just they really looked like everything was in a flow from FSU ever since then. So that was a big drive.
Now, Toa Philly's the guy, Mike. We talked about this. Toa Philly could come back next year, depending on what happens with Trey. I mean, He's been really impressive. His balance is unbelievable.
Run that one back. Well, not run back, but this one he should have climbed up and then climbed out of the pocket.
All right, let's run that back.
And that's part of that feel you talk about. You know, step up and then step out to get away from that pressure. So this is good. This is a good opportunity for him to learn. You know, he did a good job of stepping it up in the pocket, but the next one is to step up and then step out to get away from that rush.
So he's saying step out this way.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, move out and maneuver the pocket.
Correct.
And that seems to be that's what Jordan does, if I'm not mistaken, Coach. Like Jordan has the innate ability to kind of climb up and then get skinny and then shift out. I mean, he's pretty unique in that. I mean, obviously you did that back in the day as well.
But this is all good learning for him, you know.
Yeah, it is.
It's good learning. And the one thing that I liked the most about it was he protected the football. You know, he didn't.
Yep.
In that pocket, he put two hands on the football, which you'll see short in a few minutes. And that's what you want, you know.
So first down, Florida
State. Then put two hands on the ball.
Yep.
That's good. That's good fundamentals.
Yeah, from this point, the defense was just they were locked in. They shut them down. There wasn't they ran out of trick plays, Rico.
No, they did. They threw the kitchen sink in the first quarter. They had nothing left. Pat, this series, Pat actually made a couple plays in a row, if I'm not mistaken. He had a phenomenal series.
Yeah, they couldn't do
Pat again. Yeah, it's 2 in a row for Pat, and I was screaming and yelling for him because he played a great series that time. So here we are again. Here's Tate. We got a handoff here. Rodney Hill's getting skinny, making some people miss. If we can settle down and get the run game going, it's going to make things so much easier for Tate. He could be on time. That's a great ball. He missed that. Almost took my legs out there. I tried to stop him from breaking his neck on that doggone sound thing. That's just a ball he's got to catch. He was pretty frustrated after that one.
Yeah.
But what game hadn't our run game been productive in a sense? I mean, mine is probably Clemson.
Yeah, Clemson sticks out, Coach. Clemson, I think we had a real tough time with the Clemson game. Really tough time. That's the only one that I can think of that we were not running the ball as effectively. LSU, we had some trouble as well, but we shored it up towards the end of the game. But Clemson sticks out.
That's a good ball there.
Great ball. That ball's got some zip. Ball's got some zip. Here we go again. Calm. That's nice.
Our screen game is elite.
Yep.
Ooh, there we go. Is that CJ?
Yeah.
That's Mike's guy. That's Mike's guy.
Panama City. Shout out. Panama City Tornadoes.
He looks comfortable back there, Charlie. He looks comfortable.
Like I said, that ball placement is on point, and that's hard. That's hard to teach. And
I went.
You have that.
That's nasty.
That's great. Boom! Come get you some contact. Look at that. That's Kazai.
Yeah. Keziah's really come on, Charlie. From what I've watched the last 3 or 4 games, Keziah has been one of their best backs. I mean, he has been really good.
Look at that placement there, in between two guys right there to Morlock. FSU really been using these tight ends. Last 2 games, they've really utilized these tight ends a lot. It's a great development. There's screen game. There it is. Coach called it out. Look at 71. I love that. Get out there, big fella.
Yeah, and that's when they put it away. Said, enough of the games. We're out of here.
Look at 71 get down there. I love this. Look at that great block, 14. Go get you some, 71. Get him off the screen.
And
that's outstanding.
On that play, Charlie, the quarterback has to really sell that too, doesn't he? That it's not going to be a screen.
Yeah, well, he at this point he had very little rush, but he did a good job of being patient to sell it a little bit. But this is well executed by the offensive lineman. Then he just gave him a nice ball. He had a clear view and didn't have to throw it over anybody. So this was an easy one. It's just a matter of getting the guy the ball, and like I said, he's very accurate. I don't know.
That is really nice.
But his numbers were great.
This is really nice, Charlie. If you watch this, look at where Tate's eyes goes. To your point, Mike, to your point, look where Tate's eyes go. He goes to the trip side up here. And, I mean, you don't know this is a screen until it's a screen, and then it's too late. Look at his eyes. Boom.
Johnny did a good job getting his assignment.
That's outstanding. That's good. That's really, really good.
That's really good.
He had numbers on that side as well.
Yep.
71 getting down there, man. That was exciting to see. That had me hyped up. Anytime you see a lineman downfield.
I think I could have scored on that one though.
Yep. You definitely you could have came down there in penny loafers and got that done. You wouldn't even need cleats. So now the defense has sunk their teeth in here. And this is just Mike went crazy with this play.
Oh yeah, I loved it. I mean, first of all, it should have been a pick 6, but he still stuck with it, and he didn't get it, but he got out the rebound and snatched it away from the guy. Just a great play, kept his balance, and Jarian just had an incredible game. I think I saw he had 3 tackles, fumble recovery, 2 pass deflections, and then had that pick.
Yep, forced fumble too. Look at this ball here. Boom. Boom.
That's the advantage that Tate will have. He can see over everything. So when stuff's cleaner and faster, he can get it quicker. And you saw kind of that play. Like he can see over everything, bam, when it's there, hit it. Like that's what he does in high school.
But Michael, I mean, that man standing in a clean pocket.
He is wide open. No, I'm great. I'm just saying from a seeing over everything, you can see those plays, but yeah, that dude's wide open. I don't know why you don't cover Keon Coleman, but hey, whatever.
They ran the zone and it just got botched. Let's see the defense stretch this out. Thank you, Azarea. Thank you. Get off the block, hold the edge, force it back inside, or force him to go outside. And here's
my guy. Here's my guy.
Right here, outrun the angle. That's awesome. He should have been caught, and he outran the angle, didn't get touched. Go get you a moment, CJ.
And you know what, Charlie? He did. I went to 5 practices this year, Charlie. He did that same thing in every practice, like gone 50, 60 yards. Like he is really special. He just doesn't get the notoriety these other guys do because their running back room is so talented.
Like right here, there's no way it should have been a TD. There's no way it should have been a TD. This guy's got an angle right here, and CJ's just like, no.
I wonder what his miles per hour was.
Yeah, had to be up there at 20, I would think.
He got missing. Woo! Untouched.
They didn't even touch him. He did the track. He did the track thing at the end, Rico, where he's breaking the track tape.
Man, I'm telling you, he about went into the visitors' locker room. Look at this. Get off me. So now we're starting the 4th, 45-13. This is about what the game should look like.
Yeah.
I love this kid here, Lyons.
Oh yeah, Daniel.
I think he's going to be special.
Yeah, Daniel has been playing a lot as as backup coming in. Daniel's from South Florida. Um, yeah, he was one of the best defensive tackles in South Florida. He's a guy they're very high on, and he's starting to get a lot more playing time, and you
Boom.
see it a lot more. Now that is Sam Singleton. He's a true
Singleton.
freshman. That's the first carry that he had all year. Obviously, as a freshman, you can get 4 games before you have to burn a ship. So this was like his first game. So very impressive game for Sam. He got some really big runs, and he's a guy they're very excited about from the Jacksonville area.
Now we've got a new quarterback in the ball game, Charlie. We've got Brock Glenn in the
Uh,
game. What are your impressions of Brock? Everything I've heard around the program has been pretty glowing. They really, really like this kid.
Yeah, I mean, I got a chance to see him this summer during um, doing one of the scrimmages, and I didn't know who he was at the time, but he was playing well, running the football because he wasn't in a green jersey,
Mm.
and he was playing really, really well. And I was like wondering who it was, and found out that he was the true freshman that just came to town.
yeah,
But he has a bright future. Um,
Great strip sack by Edmond there. Got come on, Briggs. That's got to be a recovery. Next Saturday, we got to have that ball. We just have
yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah. Glenn's from Memphis, Tennessee. He's from that Memphis area, and he's a guy they flipped from Ohio State. So certainly a guy that they were very high on, probably one of their best top quarterback prospects for that year. And as you can see, some of these things he does is like it jumps out to you, and then you get a feel for when he gets a feel for what he's doing, like with Tate, and knowing the offense. Brock's going to be pretty special.
Here we go. Here's Brock running the ball. This was pretty wild. I mean, this was a 15-yard pitch here.
I'm glad he jumped on it because that was a lateral.
Yeah, that was not a smart decision.
That was some backyard stuff there. I
Yeah,
think
that wasn't smart.
I think we end up getting a first down off some type of penalty here. It's
Here's
third
here's
down here.
here's a good ball by Brock right here.
Quick release in
Oh, that's nice.
Dre
the vertical
Jacobs.
game. He's another. He's going to be another special uh,
Yeah.
freshman.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Dre is he gets separation in routes. And as a quarterback, Charlie, that's like your favorite friend. Like guys that get separation in routes because it makes your job easier. But yeah, Dre's going to play a
Yeah.
lot.
This throw here, guys, Charlie, I know you can elaborate on this. You're going to hit the hash. You can make this throw, but you better put some elbow grease into it because that safety can get over there. Brock has the confidence. He sees him wide open. He's split between the corner and the safety here. And that ball's got to come right on the inside of the hash, and you got to put some mustard on it. And he does, and Dre makes a great catch here.
Oh, there you go.
Boom.
And it's really the separation in the route that really, we got to make a great throw, but the separation in the route really helps Brock there.
I mean, at this point, they're running like routes on air.
Yeah, this is what they call going downhill.
Here we go. And Brock gets in there first TD. And Charlie, do you approve of the dance or does it need work?
Man, just hand the quarterback, just hand the referee the football and celebrate with your teammates. I'm not sure what the dance was about. I'm sure
Yeah.
that was something.
I think
And
somebody.
first touchdown.
Yeah,
That was his first TD dance. He may need to work on it a little bit. It was a little rough, but hey, we love him anyway. Now
Alex.
defense yeah.
I was just going to say, Alex told him after the game he needs to work on that. But what you saw in that play in general of the play, like he is a very good runner. Like he's probably one of the best runners on the team outside of Jordan. Brock is. He can really go. But one thing you haven't seen yet is how he maneuvers in the pocket. And we've kind of talked about today. I think you'll see more of that as we get more of Brock as his career goes on. But that's an area Brock's really good at is maneuvering in the pocket.
Yeah,
Well,
he's
North
he's another
Alabama. Yeah.
he's another one that's super athletic. I do believe.
Yeah.
And, he doesn't look it, but you could tell. I just saw when he was playing
Here we go.
earlier.
All right. Now, North Alabama is probably not going to get invited back. It's 9 seconds left. And my thing is, don't kick a field goal. Like if you got one play, throw it in the end zone. I mean, score a touchdown, but let's compete. Don't take the cheap 3 points. They line up to get their field goal here, and the football gods took over. And we weren't happy about it. I tell you, from the sideline, they were not happy about that. They thought that was kind of bush league, and we'll see what happens if we roll the clip. Boom. Where's
Yep.
it at? Oh,
And
and bam.
Yeah, the guy that batted the ball in the air, that's like the worst thing you can do on special teams as your get kicking team. You don't bat the ball in the air because the defense has the advantage on numbers. So
Look at this goofball.
that's just dumb.
Oh, so Noles end up finishing off the game on a field goal block touchdown. This thing went straight up in the air, kind of goofy, and then this guy boop, and then Jones
I don't know what
picks
he
it
was
up.
doing.
Yep, and great balance there.
Yeah,
and
good effort.
he gone.
And that's a great effort, and that's kind of what Mike has taught these kids is just all the way effort all the time. Doesn't matter what the score is, faceless opponent, all that stuff. But it's about just every rep matters. And so you kind of saw in that last play, when he took it to the house. I mean, that's the way they play, and that's the way you're supposed to play. I mean, because you don't know when those plays are going to happen. So, shout out Quindarius. That was a big play, first touchdown in his career.
Noles get the win.
Trying to get on the field.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a good sized player too. Athlete, 6'2". I want to say he's over 200 pounds, right at 200 pounds, about 6'2". I mean, there's a lot of positions he can play. He's a good looking athlete in pads. I mean, he's going to turn some heads. Quindarius Jones.
Yeah, he's from Mississippi. He's from Mississippi, Charlie.
Oh yeah, he's a special talent as well. I mean, I got a chance to see him in a scrimmage this summer, the preseason, and I was trying to figure out who he was because I just saw the way his movements, his coverage skills. I mean, I didn't know who he was, but I could just tell, he had some skill. And
that's kind of my. Yeah, that was kind of my feelings, Charlie, when I saw him out of high school. They had a camp one year. It's called the Seminole Showcase. They had him out there. I'd never heard of this kid. Now, he was covering Dre Jacobs, and you know how fast Dre Jacobs is, and he was able to stay with Dre. He had one of the biggest games. They offered him that day. Later, he committed, and they got him in his class. So he was kind of a steal that they found, I guess, late into the year in that class, 2023 or 2022. So he's a tremendous talent because he's big, but he's also twitchy enough where he can certainly play the ball as a corner, but also you can put him at safety and he can do a lot of good things.
Yeah,
he's good.
Well, the big elephant in the room, Charlie, is going to be now we're transitioning to Tate. We're going into the swamp, and Tate's going to be the starter. I imagine Brock Glenn will probably be the number 2. I don't want to get into who's better at what. I mean, obviously, first and foremost, I think Jordan Travis. Mike and I talked about this a little earlier, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Jordan Travis transfers from Louisville. Coach Taggart was kind of hot and cold, kind of tepid on him. Didn't really get a ton of opportunity when Coach Taggart was in. Actually, Mike told me the story. He talked about changing positions. And Coach Norvell said, "No, you're a quarterback. You're my quarterback." Coach Norvell sticks with him. We have the 5 and 7 year. The Notre Dame game obviously doesn't go well. He ends up getting benched in that game, kind of sticks it out. And then last year, everything kind of clicked. And we go 10-3, state champs, beat Oklahoma in a bowl game. And then coming into this year, I mean, it really just the maturation and development was there. Heisman candidate, and Charlie, I know you won that award. It just speaks volumes just to even be up for an award like that, let alone win it. And it's just really tough. It's really tough. I've told people when we were talking about this, it's the most It's the most catastrophic injury for a team trying to win a title that I've ever seen. It just happens to be, my team and our team. I can't remember an injury this late into a championship run like this. And it's so difficult. So I don't want to get into comparing them. Jordan Travis is an FSU legend in his own right. But is there anything that Tate Rodemaker may do that could benefit this offense in your estimation going forward?
I mean, they just need him to be who he is. I think that I'm going to keep hearing Coach Norville say that. I mean, there's only one Jordan Travis, and some of the things he did was very special. And he's matured as a quarterback over the past couple of years, which is what you admire and you want in your quarterback or any player. But Tate's been there for 4 years or 3 years or however long it's been. He's waited his time. Matt Jones was a very similar situation where he was at Alabama for a few years before he got his opportunity. And Tate's in the same boat. He's taken over the time where there's your leader and your team is on the verge of going 13-0, going with the unblemished record, and now you're tasked with being the leader, the quarterback, the follow-up guy. But I do believe he's poised to play well, and what I mean by play well is he just has to make sure that he does what he did this past weekend, which is take care of the football, and take a sack. Don't try to be hero. But everyone else has to step up their game now. The offensive line, they may not have the quarterback run, even though I think Tate can do it. But I don't know if you put him in harm's way, that way when the backup behind him is a true freshman.
Right.
And so I just think you'll have a different mindset. And so the offensive line is going to have to step up, the run game, also the pass game, and the receivers. We can't have that many drops, especially, on third down or downs that can move the chains like we've had in the past. And so that may happen, but those guys are going to have to step up. And then the defense, of course, has to be who they've been all year for the most part is, stout. And second half, they've been lights out every game. So it's going to take a total team effort. And I think Tate is up to the challenge. And I think the others are up to the challenge as well.
Mike, you got anything to add with that as we transition to Tate?
That's I think Charlie said it perfectly. I mean, it's like as clear as you can. It comes down to it doesn't change who you are at FSU. Your offense is going to be the same. It's just you're going to run things a little bit more differently to make Tate comfortable. And as long as Tate's doing the things that Tate's comfortable with and protecting the ball, not having turnovers, getting your playmakers ball, because there's playmakers everywhere in this offense. Jaheim Bell, Keon Coleman, Johnny Wilson, Trey Benson, Toe Philly, Zaya. There's Morlock. There's tons of playmakers everywhere. So he's just got to be Tate. He doesn't need to be Jordan Travis. He just be Tate. Like, go out there, be the gunslinger, make good decisions, let your eyes tell you where everything is. And then as a team, just play as a whole. Everyone just got to step up and play their game because you play in the swamp, it's tough. And you got to go in there and just execute kind of what Mike has said all year. Faceless opponent. We don't care what somebody else does. We care what we do. And so that's what matters. And if you do that, I think they're going to be more than fine, and they'll get where they need to get. But really, just don't put any undue pressure on him that doesn't need to be there. Just let Tate be the quarterback he is. Let him highlight his skills and what he's good at.
Well, as we look at Tate's numbers on the year, obviously it's in kind of sparing mop-up duty type action until Saturday against North Alabama. He's had pretty good stats. 20 of 31, 376, 5 TDs, got a quarterback rating through the roof. A lot of that is against North Alabama, where he's 13 of 23, 217, 2 scores. I talked with Mike and Charlie. I'd love to get your opinion on this. Being 6'5", having that kind of pocket presence, having the ability to look directly in line, if not over linemen, because linemen aren't standing straight up. They're obviously got their legs bent. Quarterbacks are more standing erect in the pocket. Does it help? Is it an advantage for your downfield back half of your passing tree to be able to see and have that vantage point? Because Tate is about 3 inches taller than Jordan. I think Jordan's around 6'1", and Tate's around 6'4", 6'5". Is that something to read into? Is that an advantage, or is that just kind of nitpicking and just looking for stuff where it's not there?
Maybe a little of it all. I don't know, but I don't. I mean, I'm 6'1", and
you 6'2" in cleats, coach.
Well, however you want to call it, I'll take 6'2". But I've always said this, that as a quarterback, one of the things that you, regardless of how tall you are, you got to find passing lanes, and so if you're 6'5" and there's a defensive lineman that's 6'5", and then he raises his hands up and you're trying to throw through him, it's not going. I don't care how tall you are.
Yep.
I just think it's important. It does help in some instances to have that height. But when it's all said and done, you got to be willing to find passing lanes to be able to get the ball through at the right time. I think making good decisions is invaluable. A lot of people think, knowing where to go to football, not staring guys down in the passing game, being able to move in the pocket, all those things are very valuable as well. But I'll just say this: whether you're 6'1", 6'5", if you got a clean pocket, you got to be able to hit your target. And that's one thing that Tate and Jordan do a good job of, is finding their targets and hitting it. And so that's the thing that I'm most excited about with Tate, is being able to see him, make some throws and, do well.
Well, Coach, I'm looking up, and I know you're not a big guy. You don't toot your own horn. You don't talk about your stats, but I'm looking at over 6,500 total yards, both on the ground and in the air. 59 total touchdowns. 37 yards per punt. Coach, not elite, but serviceable. I think you were a much better quarterback than punter. I'm very glad you made that position change.
I was just serving a need. And they asked me to compete for I wouldn't, like you said, I wasn't elite. Looking back, I probably should have had one of those slipper shoes on so I could punt the ball a little bit further.
Yeah.
But I had the cloth shoe, the whole deal. I was a quarterback playing punter.
Now, Coach, in the Heisman house, is there any other roommates in the Heisman house that could actually punt the football?
I'm sure the other guys who played, who's a punter in high school. I'm sure there's some kickers in the mix. But I'm not sure if they're in the punters in college.
Yeah.
Now, you've got something over all those guys. I don't think they would average even 30 yards punting the ball. So we got 59 total TDs. And given that it's Florida week, Coach, we're going to go relive one of the most famous TDs. And it needs no introduction.
This is why it's hard to play here. This is why people wince when they see games going on.
You wouldn't find it on a map.
It's tough. That's a lot of noise. On 3rd and 10, Lord throws and good to Dunn. Lord away. They won't catch him, I don't think.
So, Charlie, on that play, we talked to Kez earlier, and Kez said he was originally thought he was supposed to get the ball on that play. What was kind of that play's plan as far as what you guys were doing? Did it go the way? Was Ward kind of a secondary option for you?
The play was 344 takeoffs,
Okay.
which is the play action out of I formation, and the read is inside out, depending upon coverage. But I got pressure up the middle,
Right.
so that's why I had to move to the left. And whenever you get pressure, you're always taught to hit your check down guy, find him. And
Right.
so Ward was the check down guy. He was running out route because the other guys were running go routes. And I was able to get free and be able to flick the ball to him.
This is what we were talking about earlier, Coach, where you're talking about climbing and then climbing out. Now, you couldn't climb up, so you climbed out, ducked underneath. Look at the touch on this ball right in the workspace, allows him great block there, and just one of the most iconic plays in Florida State football history happens to have taken place in the swamp against those dirty Gators. Just iconic play. I see the excitement there, Coach. You were pretty excited there. You're pretty jacked up.
Yeah, I mean when you hit a big play, put the team out, you get excited.
All right. We had to show that one because it was just too. There's some other ones that they got Chris Ricks over here running around doing something else to the Gators in the swamp. But that was a special play, Coach. That was one of those iconic moments against the Gators, and being that it is Florida Week, I thought it was pretty cool to show that one. Now next week we hope to have you and Kez on, and we want to go over some of them touchdown throws in the first half where you actually connected with Kez. And talk about what we had there. We'll wait till we get him on the cast, and hopefully we have a good Saturday evening. But that was a special play, just a special time, special year, special career. We really appreciate you coming on and breaking down the quarterback.
Yep.
This was an important show because I think a lot of Seminoles are worried right now at the quarterback position. And it's tough anytime.
Rico, hold on for a minute. So, the Seminoles are rolling out a backup quarterback. So are the Gators. Why are we upset with our situation when we know we're going to be playing a very similar situation? And their guy is, I don't know how many years he's been there. He might have been there 2 years. Freshman. So
first year.
His experience is nilch. I mean, outside of the one he just had, which I thought he did a good job on the road against Missouri when he came in the game. But just think about him. I mean, we just played a true freshman or a freshman quarterback in Miami, and I just think the pressure that we can apply on the defensive end, we just got to make sure we take away easy throws, make throws tough. I'm not sure if he can make them. He may be able to, but we got to take away his run game, which is, I think, he's most effective there. But I look at the first, couple series to see how the flow of the game is going, to see if it's going to be a challenge. But if they're conservative in their play calls, which I thought they were in Missouri when he came in, which is expected, I don't see them going past that. So I feel really good about our quarterback situation than Florida does, in my opinion.
I agree. That's kind of what I've told Rico all week. I mean, my thing going into this game is Florida wants to run the ball. So if you can contain their running game and you put pressure on him to have to win the game, then you're in a good situation. And Tate's been through this. He played majority of the game against Louisville. When they played at Louisville, we won there. He's a very experienced quarterback. He's been through these battles. So he knows. So I also feel good, Charlie, about their quarterback situation. I understand the fans because that's what fans do. That's why they call them fans. But I'm not that concerned with Tate going into this game. I think I feel very good about what he can do.
Yeah, Mike, we've talked about this, and Charlie, I'd like to get your opinion on this. From people who've kind of been around it, and you've certainly been around the program, been a lot of practices, you've seen this, And I know you've got a good respect for what Tate can do, and you've seen through practices and scrimmages what he can do. From what I've been able to see, and from what Mike's been able to see, I think a lot of the concern and the emotion is more so because Jordan Travis earned the right to see this through and is not going to get that. It's not doom and gloom that Florida State football has no shot now, because we have a fourth-year guy who can make throws. And I don't know that the fan base really gets that. They may think that this is just a backup quarterback kind of coming in there. But I honestly do believe, and again, I don't want to get into comparisons, but I do think there are some things that Tate does, particularly climbing in the pocket, having the vision to see over top, the ball angles coming from 6'5" as opposed to coming from 6'1". I think there are some things that could potentially help us offensively going forward with Tate. And I would hope that Seminole fans would give this guy a chance and not feel like we don't have a shot. That leads me into talking about the college football playoff, which I know we talked about briefly. I think it's a shame that the national media is kind of painting Florida State as kind of this lame duck. We're going to try to win these next 2 games, but we can't be taken serious as a national champion competitor in this playoff, because from what we've seen from Tate, and I hope what he shows these next 2 games, we have real deal NFL bound pass catchers, and Keon, I think Johnny, either this year or next year, and then certainly Bell. You got a guy who can push the vertical offense, and then that opens up the running lanes. I just think we're okay. I think we're going to be fine. I think Tate's ready, and I think he's going to show a lot of people on Saturday. And I think Nole fans are going to be happy with what they see. You guys think so?
I mean, I'm confident in what we're capable of doing. I mean, you're missing a key component to the team, for sure. And I think Tate can keep us moving in the right direction from an offensive standpoint. Defensively, we got to, like I said, everyone else has to step up their game. Defensively, we can't have lapses like we potentially had in the past, where we were giving up a lot of rushing yards, and then we make the adjustment, and the team can't run, find gaps, and those types of things. So we got to make sure we shore that up early on, just to give us confidence. And then from an offensive standpoint, I don't think there's anything that we can't do, minus probably some of the run, quarterback run stuff. And then some of the quarterback run stuff would be, some read option, like you saw with Brock. But Tate can do that. Quarterback counters, you probably won't see that, but you can see some of that read option type of the plays that Tate is capable of doing. But I'm also confident that Tate can get out of the pocket and do what he did when we saw him, run for 15 to 16 yards or whatever that was on that scramble, because he's very athletic. Actually, to me, I wouldn't say he's more athletic than Jordan, but you could tell he has some athleticism to him. I mean, he's a long strider. I mean, he's one of those kind of guys that you look at him like, I don't think you do it, but he's capable of doing it. So, but I'm confident in Tate and what he's capable of doing. Coach Norville is confident. So if he's confident, then I'm confident, because he sees him every day.
Yeah, I mean, I think you touched on everything. I think really the anxiety for FSU fans a lot goes back to, last time they were in a backup situation, it was Marcus Allison coming in there. Marcus was a walk-on, but I think people get that anxiety when you talk about backup, and they think such a lesser point. But there's a lot of things that Tate does well. I mean, Tate even in high school was athletic, to Charlie's point, and he's been very athletic when they have to bring him. He hasn't been with the ones. So I guess that's where the anxiety is, that you haven't seen him do what Jordan does with the ones. But I'm very confident what he does. I'm very confident his defense. I feel very confident Kalen DeLoach is going to be back out there. That's a big part of their defense. When Kalen plays, this defense looks really, really good. But overall, I think they have the right mindset. Coach Norvell, and then we're locked in. They know what's at stake. But like I said, they're not competing against Florida. They're competing against themselves. So they're going out there and they're looking at themselves like, we're competing against each other to be better. And I think as long as they do that and stay on that, stay away from the turnovers, I think they're going to get the result they want.
Before you show that, one of the things that One of the things that I admired about Tate on last Saturday was he was able to get out of trouble and he threw the ball away, like after he got out of the trouble.
Mm-hmm.
That just goes to show you the maturity level that we have at the quarterback position, where he was able to get out of trouble, escape, but then he just flung the ball out of bounds
Right.
to save the possession, or to save the yardage, which is something you normally don't get from a younger person who's trying to make plays.
Yep.
Protecting the ball, like you said, Coach, has been key. Just looking at some of the highlights. I mean, obviously North Alabama's North Alabama, FCS opponent, but this was not North Alabama. This was Louisville on the road last year. Look at the arm angle there. That was a very creative throw, kind of baseball-ish. Hits Wilson there in the flat. This is a game where we're down a score. Here's a 3rd and 9 right here. Tate's kind of climbing up, climbing out like we talked about, and going to get your first down. There's that athleticism that you talked about, Coach. He's got it. He can move the ball. We end up scoring on the ground there. Now we're down a touchdown again, and this is a phenomenal throw on the button. That's as good as it gets there.
Wilson down the far sideline. It'll be first down and goal for Florida State. And on that play alone,
I think he's going to go up top here to our old friend. Oop, nice ball. Middle of the field, slinging it in there. I mean, Tate really played well in this Louisville game. This is really the best action that he's had going up top here. There you go.
Great hit. Great hit.
Go up there in Mama's attic, get the Christmas decorations, young fella.
And this is what we're going to expect. I mean, this is what we're looking to have coming from Tate on Saturday. We don't expect anything different than what he showed in Louisville. And this week they'll put the game plan. It's going to center around him and his accuracy, his athleticism, and there'll be some things that they probably do a little bit differently than Jordan, but that's expected. Two different players, but when it's all said and done, the thing that they didn't have last year, they have this year. There's quite a few more weapons than Johnny.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that's all we've got as far as the coverage, Charlie. It's been an absolute treat. I have the highest regard and respect for you, just as a man, as a Seminole, and it's a treat every time that you come on. Appreciate your friendship, appreciate your leadership, your guidance. It's always awesome to have you on. And I wanted to point out something that I noticed. I don't know if a lot of people noticed. This Saturday, they did a tribute where Jameis joined you up in Doak with a retired number. And Jameis had on a number 13 jersey for Jordan Travis. And I saw a photo. I don't have it with me here to put it on the screen, but I saw a photo when you were in the alumni club and you had on the Jameis Winston 2013 jersey.
Right.
And I just don't know that that's normal. I just don't know that many programs operate like that, where you've got an individual who's won a Heisman, who's supporting another individual, wearing his jersey, wearing his likeness to support him. And then the guy who's literally getting his jersey retired is supporting the current Heisman hopeful. I just feel like this is something that's embodies, it's exemplary of the Seminole spirit and the family atmosphere that we have, which is an example of why you'll take time out of your Thanksgiving week to come here with us, Mike Rico, and break it down. I just think it's pretty special. And I think leadership starts from the top, starts from the front, and that's with you. First national champion quarterback in Florida State history. Jameis is obviously the third, Winky being the second. And then who knows, maybe Jordan Travis would have been the fourth or could still be the fourth. And I just think that's awesome. I don't think a lot of people saw that, but that was awesome. When I saw that photo, I said, look at Coach. Coach has got on the Jameis jersey. Jameis got on the Jordan Travis jersey. I mean, I just don't think that's normal. You don't see that a lot of places. I thought that was cool.
Yeah. Well, Jameis actually gave me that jersey the night that he won or not the night, it was the Sunday after the dinner. He signed a jersey for myself and Chris while we were there for the reception after the dinner.
That's awesome.
And so I had my wife, we had to find it. So we found it since I knew he was getting his jersey retired.
That's
and
cool.
I wanted to wear it. So, but we support each other, and we're all from the same stock as far as where we come from, college wise. And we just want to support each other.
Yeah, Charlie, I've said it. Charlie, I've said it before. Like, once you're here, you're locked in here forever. We're the family. I guess just your feelings on just the family in general. It just feels like no matter if it's a 1 year where you played here for 1 year, like Jermaine Johnson, or if you're a transfer or whatever, it just feels like once you're in the Seminole family, it's like locked forever, and there's a connection, a brotherhood that's just it's very unique. I'm not going to say other schools don't have it, but I think FSU has a very unique quality of their brotherhood. But I guess just talk about just that family y'all have with all each other with all different type of classes.
I mean, I think it's like any family. The more time you spend together, the more bonding you have, more experiences you have together, and time doesn't eliminate that.
Yep.
So when you come back, like the 2013 team, like the '93 team, and when you come back, you rekindle those old memories in a lot of ways because you know the experience and what you've experienced with your brothers. And so I think it happens other places. My dad played at FAMU, and when they
Yep.
had their reunions, it was very similar
Okay.
during that time. And but I'm grateful that we still have a bond. But the coaches, Coach Norville, all the coaches have. I've always been invited back, but some may not have felt that way. Certain coaches were here, but Coach Norville, he's intentional about bringing the alumni back to be able to share with the current team, just so they can see what culture looks like. And of course, Coach Bowden built a lot of that culture. And now he's had the opportunity to be able to be here for 4 years, and he's kind of picked up on some of the things that Coach Bowden instilled in us as far as family and the unity, execution at a high level, treat people with respect, being in the community, all those things he's preaching, academics, and, being a great citizen. And so when we are able to come back and talk to the guys, they appreciate that. And because, if they continue to move forward and play well and get a chance to win a national championship, then they'll be in the same boat. 10 years from now, 30 years from 20 years and 30 years from now. So I think they're taking advantage of this moment.
Yep.
Yeah, that's excellent stuff. It's special to be a part of the Florida State football family, and Coach, it starts with you. It starts from the guys who kind of laid the groundwork, and so it's very much appreciated. That's all we got for tonight. Awesome job. Thank you so much. This was very important, and we hope to be back next week where we can break down a victory over the Lizards in the swamp. And I can't wait to see your breakdown of Tate. Hopefully it's a good one, and it's going to be great to see. And then he'll get to go hopefully visit Louisville, and we'll be sitting at 12-0.
Yep. So
happy Thanksgiving. Everyone stay blessed. Coach, you got any parting words?
I just want to say happy Thanksgiving to everyone, and hope you enjoy the time with the family. And go Noles.
Go Noles. Mike and Rico show featuring the GOAT, Coach Charlie Ward. Number 17, but number 1 in your hearts. It's been a pleasure, Charlie. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
All right. Signing off.